Hello, welcome to AstroEnergy with Astrologer Angel Shelley Overton. Hello, and welcome to the July 25th, 2017 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley, astrologer in Orlando, Florida. It's good to be here with you. So, are you having a good week? Is everything going okay? Are you having frustrations? I know I've been having a little bit of Mercury frustration. We've got Mercury at 29 degrees Leo, ready to go into Virgo today. This evening at 7:41 p.m. Eastern, 4:41 p.m. Pacific, and it's been making its presence known in my life. So my light went out in an armoire that I have, so I have to replace that. My computer froze up this morning. I had to pull the plug and restart it. So we're going to cross our fingers that this show is going to go on well and it's not going to be a victim of a late degree Mercury. So let's see what's going on. Today we're going to also talk about fire in the sky and royal energy, which is Leo, because everything's in Leo at least for another 12 hours, and then we're going to see a shift. But right now, actually, and Moon just shifted too overnight. The moon went into Virgo. Let's just see when the moon went in. At 6:32 a.m., so actually just really recently. So the moon is now in Virgo, and Mercury is about to be in Virgo. But we still have the Sun and Mars conjunct up there in Leo. So the Leo energy, again, I think I talked about this last week because that was where most of the fire energy was in the chart. So we're really seeing a lot of creativity and creative energy, which I personally used that yesterday to create a bunch of web classes. I shouldn't say that. I was on the web. I was creating classes. They're not web classes. Not yet. I still have that. I'm still trying to figure out the format of my online astrology class. But for now, I'm going to have it live in person if you're in Orlando. I've got one coming up the 19th of August, and you can see that on my website at astrologerangel.com. But yeah, all this creative energy. I mean, I was sitting watching some Netflix the other night, and I just thought, I really need to draw something. So and that's interesting because what I drew ended up being a woman who was associated with royalty. She was the mistress to King, let me think which one it was, King Henry II of France, I believe it was. Or it could have been King Henry I. Anyway, she owned a beautiful chateau in France called Cheneseau, which is one that I visited years and years ago, probably 25 years ago. And it was a phenomenal chateau. And it turned out that she was like almost 20 years older than this prince, but she was his mistress. She actually was in the court of his father, and she was 35 and he was 15, and he got married. I want to say he got married around that age. It was 15 or 16. And his bride, I think it was Henry II, his bride was Mary, Queen of Scots. So that was really interesting. It was a whole interesting thing, and I ended up going into all this discussion when all these planets were in Leo with my family this week, telling them all about Mary, Queen of Scots and her connection to England and France and Scotland, and how she ended up having a son who ruled over all three of those. So it was pretty amazing, something I didn't know. And there are just so many royals that it's like, I can't, I'm amazed at how much I am understanding right now. But at the same time, because Sun, Mars, Mercury, and the Moon were all in Leo in the last few days, it was just this extra added attention to royalty energy. And that is because Leo rules royalty. And then it also rules creativity. It rules leadership and sense of self. So it's sense of self meaning Sun. The Sun is the ruler of Leo, and so the Sun rules ego, and that's why Leo can be egoic. We've got Mars in Leo right now, so it's a fire energy. sun is the ultimate fire in the sky, and it's right next to Mars. So if you looked up in the sky right now, if you briefly looked at the sun, you would also be looking in the direction of Mars, right next to it. So because Mars is a very potent energy for taking action and drive, it's in a fire sign, which just increases that. With the sun next to it, it supersedes it. It is called combust, so it's like extremely powerful and extremely bright energy, and it's fame. It's the fame point, or the fame energy of the zodiac. The fame point of the zodiac is actually the midheaven, when the sun is at midday. But right now in fire next to Mars and in Leo is about fame. Leos attract attention wherever they go. They attract a court, so to speak. So that's really kind of what we've been feeling. And it's also the energy of friendship and connecting. Having all this energy, it's very much inclining us to spend more time with friends. I know I've spent the last few days kind of, I've been around at least 3 friends. It's also family. I mean, it's children within family, and I've been spending with my father. He is a Leo, and my son has been connecting more, and he's a Leo. So you may see these kind of things in your life as well as you attract Leos, but it can also trigger some of the opposite energy of Aquarius. So Aquarius is the sign of detachment. But anyway, now that we have a couple planets, or lights as the moon is called, going into Virgo, we're going to be picking up the energy more around health, healing. I have a friend who I'm going to help out this afternoon. She is a Virgo, I'm a Virgo, and she's been going through some health issues. So you may find that health issues may be exacerbated, especially later in the afternoon when the moon gets to direct opposition to Neptune. And Neptune's in Pisces, so it could be issues around feet. It could be issues around digestion, which is the realm of Virgo. Mercury, like I said, goes in tonight. So from now until later tonight, we've got this kind of a wrapping up energy around ideas and thoughts on how to make things happen. So you really have kind of the last little bit of time to get your ideas in order. But with the end degrees of a sign, you're finding that there aren't a lot of connections to other planets. Mercury just went past trine to Uranus, but he is 1 degree past that now, and so it means that he's wrapping up everything in the story with the Leo energy and getting ready to go to work. So it's kind of like also seeing your children go off and become more mature and getting a job. And my daughter just got a job in the last week, so she will be working, and she's just started her first full day yesterday. She has another tonight and tomorrow. So the moon in Virgo definitely is signifying more abundance of work for those of us who are either workaholics or looking for more work. So that'll be a good thing. We've got Jupiter in Libra, and he is square today to Pluto. So let's just see if we can find out what exact time that happens. Actually, I want to say is it even in here? I've got an ephemeris. Where the heck is it? You're not showing the square? It's got to be there. Okay, well, I'm assuming that I'm missing it somehow in my book because I do not see it in my day-to-day ephemeris. So it's probably going to be, well, it's today, okay, or actually in the next couple days. Maybe I'm just not looking far enough in advance. See, I apologize. Maybe it's a little bit farther down the road than I just, there. Yeah, there, the exact square. Man, it's so funny. So this is a kind of a lesson in how long it takes planets to move into exact squares or exact aspect. Jupiter is at 16 degrees 10 of Libra, and Pluto is at 17 degrees 45 minutes. So they're literally 1 minute and 1 degree and 35 minutes away from each other. How long does it take that to happen? Until Friday, the 4th. So it's not even going to be in the next day, which is my thinking around like Mercury and quicker moving planets. It's actually going to take us almost 2 weeks for it to get to exact. That's how long planets, the slower moving planets, take to perfect. So Friday the 4th. So we've got that coming up next week. Who knew? But in the meantime, the Jupiter approaching a square to Pluto means that we're dealing still, as we have been for a while, with travel, education. Musicians are ruled under Jupiter. Moving house, real estate transactions. My uncle just put his house up on the market in Seattle. So now is actually a questionable time because that square means that there is an energy around it. There is a disagreement between the energies. So Pluto in Capricorn is, again, all the structure, the energy, rules, regulations, laws. So having all those regulations and laws may be in opposition. And this is really another interesting aside. I know someone who's been trying to open a restaurant, and it keeps getting put off and keeps getting put off. Jupiter squaring Pluto. So we see this trying to coordinate, and it just isn't. So interestingly, there is, and also with the same friend, that they're going on vacation, and it's kind of been trying to get it done, but the opening of the restaurant, but it's not happening, and then vacation's coming up. So chances are the vacation will happen with the opening of the restaurant on the other side, although having Jupiter squaring Pluto for vacation means that people may not get along, or it's not going to go as planned, or it may even be changed. The travel plans may be changed. So keep an eye out for that in your own lives. And then we've got Saturn opposing Venus, but fortunately that was perfected yesterday at 10:54 a.m. And so it is now a past transit, but they are still within 2 degrees of each other. So Venus opposing Saturn, again, having issues with property, appliances, small things, things that you desire, any goods around the house, things of beauty getting broken, radios, electronics, because Venus is in Gemini. She is in the sign of Mercury, which is at the end degrees. Of course, Mercury in Leo. Leo is status symbols. So if there's something that has to do with your status, it may be going through a hit or having difficulty right now. And that means that it's associated with ego. Status is associated with ego, and that is, of course, also Leo energy because of the rulership of the sun to Leo. So having these energies all in flux and also answering to other planetary energies, it's probably a really good time to just hang out and not expect a whole lot to go the way you're intending it to go today. Or, like I said, appliances. It's also modes of transportation because Mercury rules the third house, Gemini house of transportation, and Venus is in Gemini. So this is a really strong energy around transportation. It can also be things that come about from investments or monetary ideas. Venus rules money, and with Taurus in the first house position, that would put Gemini on the second house of money. So issues surrounding money and monetary issues, discussion about it, and whatever the contracts are coming up will really not do well for you until after Mercury gets into the next sign of Virgo. Now, Virgo is very meticulous, and Mercury rules Virgo in the earth element. So Mercury in Virgo is a much better energy after tonight to really coordinate contracts and things like that, or get work wrapped up. And this date and time is going to be the better one. So, yeah, we'll see that. Also, Pluto is in sextile to Neptune, and it's actually, I'm just looking at Pluto's going retrograde, Neptune's going retrograde, so they're both moving backwards. So Pluto's actually chasing Neptune right now, trying to sextile. So there's like that energy of, wait a minute, can we go back over it? It really is the energy of karma and the past coming up. And Capricorn rules the karmic energy around this is something you did and now you have to reap the rewards or risk from that. And then Neptune retrograde, again, Neptune direct is about thinking how wonderful things would be if they were only the way I wanted them. Things. And Neptune retrograde makes you much more pragmatic. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is about going back in the past over old karma, old connections to people, and also the elder. Chasing Neptune, wanting it to be the way it was, wanting things to go back to the past and have it in that idealized way. But Neptune retrograde is saying, nope, it won't work out that way. It's just not that anymore. And so when Neptune was direct and moving towards Pluto, and Pluto was direct, we were heading forward as a collective towards a more idealized situation, not necessarily in politics, because Pluto does rule politics, and in Capricorn it's about change right now in politics and dealing with fear. But going back over the past retrograde, it is trying to understand why things were the way they were. And it can make us sentimental, and it can make us probably a little sad. It may mean we're dealing with people who have passed away. We're going back, trying to understand past relationships that haven't worked out. So that's going to go on a little while. It's going to go on until the planets go direct, obviously. And so Neptune doesn't go direct until late in the year. Let me see. I'm looking. I think it is October, November. Yeah, in November. So so Neptune goes direct on Tuesday, the 23rd of November. And Pluto, when do you go direct? I think in September. Not mistaken. Let's see, retrograde direct on the 29th of September. So then we'll be able to move forward with some new structures, and that'll be really interesting because as Pluto goes direct and then into Capricorn, which is where Pluto is, we're going to have some major shifts towards the end of the year, which I will, of course, talk about in later shows. So we've got Uranus at 28 degrees Aries, meaning so late in Aries, and that means it's also the last degrees of really getting the idea around us working for ourselves. That's what Uranus in Aries wants us to do. It wants us to take charge of our drive, of our intentions, and our physicality. It is the energy that is connected to guns, violence, aggression, things like that. So we've been seeing a little bit more of that. I watched a little news, a little bit of written news blogs yesterday, and Afghanistan was in the news for some violence, and I think there was another place, but I don't remember what it was. So we're going to see that. It's really the push to be assertive, and events deal with trying to get our ideas across and the new energy. It's like, but this is how it has to go. It's a cardinal energy, so Aries wants to push for something. Uranus doesn't want to be told what to do, and it is the collective. It is the union of people. So it is about pushing for a of sorts towards a fait accompli, towards trying to wrap up that energy around getting that collective idea manifested. And it will manifest. It's going to be manifesting next year, having more unionization and collective agreements, that kind of thing, is a big Uranian energy. And so next year when Uranus moves into Taurus, which happens in May, it's May 16th of next year, we will see all that Aquarian energy expressed through the Earth energy. That means money systems, monetary systems are going to start working more. Credit unions, I know I belong to one, but I think that they are going to not only be getting more people aware of them, but also doing the changes. When Uranus changes signs, it's going to be about things changing because it rules change. Like out of any other planet in the zodiac, Uranus is about change. It's pure change. So Saturn when Saturn gets there in 3 years, or 2.5 years, it will be about shift and change, doing the collective again, and not just what's in the best interest of those who are in charge, which is Pluto and Capricorn. And its power. There are a number of power issues, Pluto and Uranus. So when Uranus goes into Taurus, it's going to be trining by element Pluto. So it is a huge decade of change and shift. It is what we had a couple of years ago was Uranus and Pluto together, or actually I take it back, squaring. And then Uranus would be moving into a trine energy with Pluto. So it will be, again, asking for a major shift around the structure of our collective agreements, our collective environment, the government, business in general, and structures of authority and the people who follow them, and how authority expresses in our society. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Do we have anything else? I think that pretty much says it all for most of the planets. I don't have a chart on where Chiron is, but I know Chiron's in late Pisces, so there is an approaching square to Saturn, which means there's some karmic energy coming out with that as well. Again, going deep into the idealism versus what action can be taken, and wanting to be bogged down by idealism, but really wanting to just be free to move forward with things. Okay, I am going to give out the phone number, which is 347-994-3365 if you'd like a reading. We have a few people in the queue, but not so many that we can't get to more today, and I'm going to take a quick break and come back and we'll do some readings. Okay. In these days of stress, running around, responsibilities, we all need a little place to go to make it all better. Is that place sports, football, or maybe you like to garden, paint, or just listen to music? Wherever your happy place is, you can find a shirt or mug to reflect that happy place. At myhappyplace.rocks, we have a variety of lifestyle products, including iPhone cases, pajamas, and pet items, all with beautiful, colorful designs, which help us go to our happy place. Stop by on the web for great gift ideas for others and yourself. myhappyplace.rocks. Lenny Pickett appears courtesy of Random Act Records. Check them out at randomactrecords.com. Hello and welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and if you would like a reading, a private reading with me, I would love to give it to you. I do it over Skype, and I record the whole session, so I will send that to you after we're done so you can go back over it and re-listen to what I've told you, because it does go rather fast, kind of like the readings on the show. A lot of information comes through. So anyway, you can get me there at astrologerangel.com. Anyway, let's go take some calls. Hi, 404. How are you?
Hey, Shelley. How's it going? It's Lolita.
Good. Hi, Lolita. What's going on today?
I don't know. You're talking about a lot about Capricorn transits going on, so I was just wondering if you can share with me what's that in for me.
Huge.
Yeah.
You have, I'm just going to tell everyone, you're December 30th. Do you mind if I give the year?
No problem. I don't care.
Okay. December 30th at 1:12 p.m. Chicago, Illinois, for those who want to do a chart also. So that means Pluto is at 1745 right now, retrograde, and you have Jupiter at 1732 Capricorn, which means some of the issues that you're dealing with are getting stuck in your dogma and how to unstick yourself from that dogma and move forward. Like Pluto still retrograde through September, so we still have like 2.5 months left before you actually can move forward. So this is like a last gasp of trying to change something that you've been wanting to work on. And for you, it looks like, and I honestly don't remember, I talked to a lot of people on my show, so I don't remember all the details of what's going on with you, but it is about education and career. And do you give yourself enough credit for what you know and how much you are capable in your life? And it's about education and expansion around understanding and wisdom. So those issues are coming up for you, and because it's Capricorn, which naturally rules the house of career, it has to do with career. Like, are you feeling confident in what you know and capable of moving forward? You're being challenged right now and probably doubting things. Tell me what's going on with you with that.
Actually, no. I'm my first year. Well, I guess I get what you're saying. I own an ice cream shop. It's been about a year and 2 months.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And I guess the last, say, month and a half, even though we had hot weather, we had, like, really weird weather, like raining. So I was just kind of, like, nervous about, okay, I expected to, well, I was looking forward to seeing doubling my profits because I just opened up in the middle of summer last year. So, and I just feel like I just did my first festival last week, and it went really good, and I got some people coming in from that. And so I feel like my summer started 2 weeks ago. So I feel really confident. And like today, I got 50 kids coming in. So,
oh my goodness.
I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a lot. No, that's wonderful. Well, interestingly, Capricorn also rules Frozen. And I always, last year, or the year before when Frozen came out, it did really well. And it was in a time where Pluto had just gone direct. I think it opened towards the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken, and it just did incredible because cold, frozen things do really well with Capricorn energy. So that's really great. I'm not going to say, hey, no, things will go bad for you, but definitely there may be some reworking of ideas on how to promote, because you've got all the Mars Leo energy, and it is about self-promotion. So, I mean, it sounds like I don't even know how you're going to handle 50 people. That's amazing. I'm admiring. Yeah, but Jupiter is also coming up on Uranus in your charts within 6 degrees of your natal Uranus in Libra. So it's about partnering. Now, do you have a partner at work?
Nope. It's just me. I got my roommates and my friends that help me whenever I need to go away. Other than that, I've been very fortunate to have good help.
Oh, very cool. Well, there will be somebody coming in who wants to help partner with you somehow, and I don't know how that is. That may be a promotional energy. It could be teaching. You might end up partnering. Like you said, you have 50 children, 50 students. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Coming in?
Yeah, they're coming in from summer camp, yes.
Yeah, so there may be also an opportunity to partner up with educational entities and expand, like when summer ends and kids go back to school and you're like, wow, that was really great when the kids came in. Maybe you could partner with a school and do a reward system. When they do well in class, they get a free coupon, and then they bring their family and they have to come in with a parent or whatever, that kind of thing. So that might actually give you some ideas.
No, that makes sense, because every year I work, I reach out to the school system, so it's that time anyway. They start school on Monday. So yeah.
Soon for you, yeah. My daughter starts on the 14th of August, so yeah, it's coming. It seems like summer gets shorter and shorter.
Yeah, I don't know how.
So is there a specific area that you want to find out about? I mean, like right now, all the Leo and Virgos in your house of home and family. So there's a lot going on there as well, connecting to family members, or maybe even thinking about children or that kind of thing.
Well, you brought up Capricorn. Well, so it's all about home and family. So do you see resolutions occurring from my dad's passing away, like all of his affairs getting in order and being revealed?
I honestly think that's probably going to complete next year, because Saturn's in your house of goods of the deceased, the inheritance house, which is the 8th house. And retrograde means going back over what it is that you have to find out about, So now is kind of literally the time where, no, this is what I see, and this is what we have to go through. And it's actually a time of expansion around awareness of what all has to be done. And then you have Saturn moving into Capricorn at the end of this year, just the end of this year, and it'll get to 4 degrees, which is it exits your house of goods of the deceased at 4 degrees, which is January of next year. So it won't happen until the 29th of January when Saturn actually gets out of that house. And I've seen it, honestly, with many people calling in over different inheritance issues. And they all seem to resolve after the planet that's triggering the 8th house moves out of that house. And so I think that moving into Capricorn will be like the beginning of the end of all the issues, and that's December. So I think it'll resolve even like by January.
Is that including like all legal issues? Like I should have a clean slate next year?
Yeah, exactly. I think that the money, like if there's any check or money from the sale of a house, say, and I think you said that, but I'm not sure. You said there's a house involved?
No. I mean, I know we have 3 siblings, so I'm not really too concerned. Like my dad put everything in the trust, so there's nothing that we all good. Can, and I know, I don't know what, we're all still looking to see what my dad left behind, so he has hid everything in the trust, so we're doing some other type of process to get revealed, and I was just curious because on that front, my sister who stayed with my dad hasn't really, I let the little one do everything, but I'm waiting for her to come forward and say, hey, here's a copy of Dad's trust so you can have it. She's a little young, but I was just wondering when she's going to come forward and just really be open with everything.
Okay. Well, definitely with Saturn, it's literally on your Mercury, which is information coming out, and also the house that it's in, the 8th house of goods of the deceased, is a Scorpio house, which can bring hidden things. So for you, I would say when Saturn goes direct is going to be more when the information is coming out. When Saturn gets on Mercury, it will be almost like the authority figures demand to know the information. And also Sagittarius likes to bring things to light and just say what's what. So that is going to happen.
When does that occur?
Let me find out here. I'm seeking the information. Saturn goes direct in September. I think August. Let me look for August. Make sure I've got the right year called up because I got a couple different ephemerises. Yeah, so Saturn goes direct the 26th of August at 21 degrees. And then when it hits 22, it's on your Mercury, and that is the end of September. So you're going to want the information starting at, well, I'm sure you want it now, but it's going to get more when Saturn goes direct, and then the actual information coming into your life is going to be like late September into October. I mean, it's like a process. Unfortunately, it is also the house of lawyers and the law. So you've got a lot of legality things and also contracts and, details around information coming out. And all of that is going to be going on in late September into October. And when Saturn gets to Capricorn, that's when the physical manifestation of what all has been going on with the information finding will actually come out. And I really think that, and I can tell you it's probably going to be an ongoing issue over 2018 as well, having the money kind of, here it is, no, we're going to withhold some of it and then some more will come, or we're going to have more. And then because, I'll tell you why, for you in your chart, Saturn goes over 4 degrees out of the house of the goods of the dead into the spiritual house and moving into the next house, which is your Capricorn house. So that's physical manifestation and structure. When Saturn goes over that cusp, it says, okay, now here are things that you got from the house before, joint finances and inheritance. It'll go retrograde over the course of next year, and it will get back to 2 degrees, which means it goes back into that house. So there's going to be some involved through this whole process, which you'll be working on next year, go direct at the end of next year, and then completes that transition over the cusp of that house. And that's when everything will be completely wrapped up by the end of the year. And I'm looking here, it's going to actually be October of 2018 that all the last little bits of things that may not have been resolved around will be completely resolved. So it's kind of a process over a year. some inheritance at the beginning of 2018, but you're going to still be kind of like, okay, where's the last stuff? Something's missing. What is it? Find it, complete by the end of next year.
Got it. All right. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I kind of figured that September was going to be the month, actually, and August is going to be real. Like, I feel like August is going to reveal a lot of things just based on the eclipses that are occurring. So I just feel like there's going to be a pivotal moment going in my life in August.
There will. Yeah, and you also have Virgo cusp going from the House of Home and Family into the, and so like father, the father energy is, like the sun and the moon. So father is Leo and mom is moon. There are a number of different ways of seeing father and mother in the chart, but for that particular focus, you've got the Leo father energy transitioning into the moon feminine receptive, and it's the same cusp as the cusp for your inheritance, which is 4 degrees, and it's ruled by Mercury. So I find there's interesting connections with this and the cusp and the degree of the cusp. So it's really interesting. Okay. There is a lot of transition going on, and definitely August with the eclipses. Again, that's more information coming out around father figure. So
okay,
big kind of. All right. Here's everything bubbling up. All right. Well, thanks.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Here and get to the next. Next caller is 202. Hi, 202.
Hey, how you doing, Shelley?
How are you?
Kay, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, Kay.
Hey.
Oy vey.
Oy vey. Yesterday's Venus Saturn literally slapped the shit out of my Venus yesterday. So.
Oh no. Wow, let's
yesterday was an intense day. Like, I had a great meeting about my film that I'm working on, and I have a great interview for someone locked in, like someone who's famous and who I've been trying to get. And then I had someone who I had looking at the film giving me critique, and that's the one that slapped me. And then dealing with this guy, and I don't know. I don't know if he's full of shit or not. And that's what I have going on.
Okay, I kind of remember this, so bear with me. There was a guy that was associated with what you're doing in film, correct? And there was also potentially some romance going on, and he was a little older than you. Is that true?
No. This guy actually, he's not he acts on the side, but he is not in film. He actually is in the medical field normally. And he's got a lot of Scorpio planets. He's got a lot of planets in the 5th house in Scorpio. And and yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So definitely the Saturn energy for you falls on your Neptune in the 1st, and we may have mentioned that last time we talked because it's pretty strong. Like Saturn's at 21 Sag and your Neptune is at 22 Sag. But of course, Neptune rules film, and so Saturn is saying, okay, well, there is interest, and because Saturn is creating the manifestation of something, right? And on Neptune, that's your dream. It's like this is your dream coming true, right? So what it's doing is it's shoring up the energy around you so that you know for a fact that when Saturn goes back direct over 22, this is going to happen. It is going to happen. But it's about how is it going to happen? Like, what else do I have to do to change what's going on, what's behind this, or not even behind the scenes. This is about you. There's like something around your sense of freedom or growth that you have to do this because of your personal growth, believe it or not. Let me see, 22, 34. So this is going to happen around October. You're going to have Saturn be direct at that time, and October 7th is when Saturn gets to the exact degree that your Neptune is at, and it's the final pass. So it's really kind of like the negotiation period that you're experiencing. It's really not that far away. I mean, my goodness.
No, it's
What'd
not.
I say?
And I know that these things change and that you have to get critiques and you have to sometimes revise, but I'm just like, Jesus.
Right.
It's a lot.
Also know that it looks like the critique was coming from a place of potentially jealousy. from the other person, because
Was
Mercury,
yeah,
you got.
I feel something. Sorry, go ahead.
You got it yesterday?
I felt something weird. Yeah, I got it yesterday. Like I said, one great meeting from a very powerful person. Second meeting was from someone who is in the industry, but it's interesting when I spoke to her, and it's very rare that someone's energy I just don't like. You know? I may not like, I like intensity because I have Pluto on my moon, so I may not love you, but to not like a person is pretty big for me. And I was like, ooh, I don't like her. But I still moved forward with getting a consultation with her because I was like, well, maybe it's not about liking someone, but it's about, what they can offer. You know what I mean? And then I spoke with my sister, and she's like, well, it's kind of a combination because you have to think about it. That means that person's vision and opinion probably is something that you don't gel with or you're not aligned with, and perhaps vice versa,
Yeah.
So you see that it may have been coming from a weird place. Mercury was doing something
because
funky.
of all the Leo energy, you said this happened yesterday again. I clarify. It was yesterday that you got
yesterday at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That's
okay, well, I can tell you what was going on in your chart at that point. Mercury was right there on the cusp between commitment with others, the Scorpio house, in the sign of Leo, about to go into the expansion and move forward. And the thing is, Mercury is at the last degrees of Leo. So it is wrapping up the old story around jealousy and ego, especially having Leo in the 8th house, which is Scorpio. Scorpio can be vindictive. Leo is about wanting to be the center. So if this person wasn't necessarily at the center, and I can tell you, it's kind of a double-edged. I mean, it's not only is this person maybe wanting more of the attention or feeling like, hey, how come she's doing it but I can't do it? That may come out, but at the same time, you have the karma to have people around you that may be expressing like that. So I don't know if you've had anyone in the past that's that way, but this is kind of like,
it was very hurtful because I'm like, I don't have shit going on. I'm broke. Like, what are you hating for?
Yeah. So
like people who
I think
have more going on than me, which is confusing to me.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, or you're muffled, so I'm not sure if the phone's up to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. I said it seemed to be people who had more success or more going on than me.
Right.
So it was very confusing to find out that they may have been jealous, or I don't even know what to call it because this doesn't even seem like the right term, Someone has to have something more than you for you to be jealous, I would think.
Well, not necessarily, because really ego doesn't work on logic. Ego works on emotion and belief systems. So if she believes that there's something that you're doing, and she doesn't necessarily know your financial status, does she? Or like how close you might be to broke or anything. So she's just seeing a superficial image of you and what you're trying to accomplish. And if you said, hey, I've got so-and-so who's looked at it, it's like, ooh, when you have a name associated with a project in Hollywood or in L.A., forget it. I mean, there's going to be jealousy. Come on. Power speaks in your world. So, that's there. But at the same time, Mercury at last degrees. You also have a trine with Saturn and Neptune to North Node right now transiting, which is actually something really positive coming in and connecting to a friend or friendly type person. So that's good. And also Mercury, what you're saying is you had a positive energy and then you had a negative one. Mercury is, I hate to say it because Mercury is my ruling planet as a Virgo, but it is a critical sign. It's a thinker and an analytical energy.
Oh, I very much know.
Yeah, and what it does, and so interestingly, Mercury was in your 8th house. So the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which is vindictive, but it's also seeking solutions for problems. So it's a problem seeker, and then it finds solutions to the problems. That's kind of a natural inclination for that house. So you put a critical Mercury in the 8th house, you're going to find someone who expresses the energy of criticism. And then Leo energy on top of it, which is ego and jealousy and need. But anyway, right now, Mercury literally is right on top of your North Node, your natal North Node, and the North Node is up in the sky right now. Your North Node is going into the house of commitment to others, which means your value with what you have, how others see you and what your value is. And North Node is a positive energy that, like, you have a South Node in Aquarius, which is a very detached energy, so you can be really analytical in your presentation of your thoughts and everything, and detached. But Leo is really part of the one of the life lessons you've come in for is your North Node, and your North Node in Leo is wanting you to understand others and connect to others. That's what they do. Leo wants to connect on a one-on-one energy, and wants the creative connection. So, you're kind of experiencing that. But Mercury is going into Virgo tonight, and that puts Mercury right on your Mars, which means you're going to be hearing something soon. And your Mars, Jupiter, Saturn are all right there. Well, Saturn's at late degrees Virgo, but your Jupiter 2 degrees at early degrees, which means Mercury will be hitting your Mars, Jupiter, fortune. Jupiter's fortune, Mars is action, and that's workaholism, basically. But, and it's also travel. So I'm thinking there may be some opportunity for travel and teaching for you. Moon just went in.
Yeah,
Vesta is there,
I'm supposed to go to shoot this person. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's something coming in, a lot of work on its way, actually. Moon and then Vesta. So there's somebody who, the Vesta energy, again, is about containing the vault of information. And because it's in that informational house, the Sagittarius house wants to find out more about things, and it's curious, okay? And always seeking understanding of a higher energy. So Virgo is also a teacher. So there's really, really strong teacher energy coming in for the next month for you. Maybe even a couple months, because Mars will be moving in there soon. Let me see when Mars gets to Virgo. It's September 6th. So, yeah, it's a learning curve. But again, by October, Saturn will be going direct over your Neptune, and that's really when it's all going to kind of come to fruition. So you got a couple months still there, but I do think that you're going to hear something from someone, and there will be action taken, especially Mars, Jupiter, and an Earth sign. There's definitely, I'm thinking that you're going to have to travel. There's going to be either a contract that's in another place,
or a good time to do it, because they want me to come and shoot in LA next month, probably.
Oh, where do you live?
I live in New York.
Oh, okay. So yeah, absolutely, yeah, LA for sure. Mars and Leo, LA, I haven't ever looked at LA's chart, but I should. It's probably either Leo influenced or Pisces/Neptune influenced, or maybe a combination of both. But yeah, definitely I would see that happening. And also, I want to say, have you connected to Disney at all?
No.
Okay, well, there may be some Disney energy in your chart, because I do a little bit of, I do a lot of research, but I have a Disney affinity. And so when I was thinking about buying Disney stock, I looked up the chart for Disney, the company, and it's very strong. And also Walt Disney is very strongly influenced by by Sagittarius. And right now Saturn's in Sagittarius, and I've been following Disney stock, and it's been going retrograde. Saturn in Sag retrograde, which I knew would influence the stock. It's been kind of stagnant for a while because it was going up when Saturn went to Sagittarius. It went up because it is a Sagittarius company, and so it's like building that structure. As it retrogrades, Saturn retrograded, the stock has been kind of flat around 104 to 108. It has not gone forward. So Saturn going direct means Disney is also going to be expanding, and it's in your first house. You have a Neptune in Sagittarius, and because I know there's a strong Sagittarian energy in that company, and also Walt Disney was really strong Sagittarius. I think he was a Sagittarius. Anyway, that could be a connection to what you're doing. I'm just throwing that out there. And I would really love to know if by the end of the year, sometime by the end of the year, you meet. If you go to LA, I'm thinking you're going to run across someone. I've got chills, and I think you're going to run across someone who is connected to Disney, and there may be some connections there. So
interesting, very cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
It is. I love Disney. I know there are many people who work for Disney here, and they're like, "Oh, Disney," but I keep the fantasy going. Yeah, I'm in Orlando.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yep.
Why
Anyway,
not?
well,
Okay, so things
good
aren't
luck
as
to
bad
you.
as they
Definitely
seem.
some. No. Well,
Sounds
Jupiter is
like things are
also
going
direct.
well.
Oh heck, yeah! Jupiter's going direct. It's in your house of career. It's on your Pluto. It's on your moon. Let me just tell you when that happens, because Jupiter's at 16 right now, and your Moon Pluto conjunction is at 21. So Jupiter will be there. I want to see the exact date. 19, 21, 19 is the 29th of August. Yeah, huge month for you. August is a huge. I want to say August is like everything's going to start to flow then, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to end up moving to LA if you aren't already. There's strong energy about moving. Uranus is on the last degrees of home and family. It's moving across the cusp with one less than a degree. Uranus will go into your house of creativity. It's on the cusp of home and family, which is a transition point for home, and it's on your Venus right there at the same degree. So everything.
Wow.
I mean, you've got a fire energy trine in your chart between Saturn Neptune conjunction and Uranus Venus conjunction, which is things are changing and your life's changing. You'll look back on this year and probably August of this year and go, wow, that's when it all changed and my dreams came true. I want to say, I guarantee I've got chills everywhere. Yep.
That's powerful. So I don't need to be worrying about no man right now. I need to be worrying about my dreams.
Oh. No, you're not going to have time for a man. He'll come in when he comes in. I mean, you may meet someone when Mars gets to Virgo. What did I say that was? That was October, I want to say. What did I say? Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, and Mars is going fast, too. It's only spending a month in Virgo. It's there on September 6th, and it'll leave into Libra on the 20th with worship. And late October, Mars will be on your midheaven, which means you're going to be getting attention for partners that you make, and they're going to come in. So your future is already well on the way to manifesting. Do not worry. Like in spades. You've got so much
hard.
stuff. Yeah, you better let me know when you're big, and we can do another reading.
I will.
Okay?
You know, I call it. I listen to you every week, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely keep you posted. You keep me sane.
Aw, wonderful. It's so nice to hear it. Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. We have 703. Hi, 703. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Who am I talking to?
My name's Andrea.
Andrea. Oh, my goodness. You haven't called before?
No, I have not.
Okay, wonderful. Let me get your information here real quick.
Sure.
703. And what? Let me get your birthday.
1/17/63. Another Capricorn.
Okay, January 17, 1963. And what time?
I believe 12:10 p.m. I was adopted, but that's what the birth certificate says.
Okay, birth is fine. Where were you born?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. All right, let me see how that goes. Hopefully it won't change anything. Wonderful, yay, I'm so happy it didn't change any information I put in. I have a glitch in my system. It changes the birthday when a town, so it didn't do it this time. Yay. Okay. Wow. Okay, so what is it you would like to know?
I recently, this past January, tried out for a TV show. So I'm just trying to think if it's still in the works, or do I have to wait till next year to try out again, or what's going on with that?
Okay, well, what's going on? So broadcasting is huge in your chart and television. So you have a Mercury-Saturn conjunction at your midheaven. Mercury is at 3 degrees Aquarius and Saturn's at 11 Aquarius. So that's really big for TV, which is really interesting because that's what you're in. You also have some energy in film if you want it. But, yeah, definitely any kind of broadcasting. Neptune right now is retrograde on your Jupiter in Pisces, which is the acting thing. So let me just see. I think I said Neptune goes direct in December.
Yeah, cut out for
November.
Got Talent.
Oh, did you? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
well,
I sign music and sign language. I can't sing.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. That's so funny because I sign sing as well because
really?
I know sign language. Yeah, I learned it when I was in art school 30 years ago.
Awesome.
And
See?
I also signed for a bunch of people when I worked at a newspaper. There were a lot of deaf men on the floor I had, and I would sign the meetings for them. So I've been doing that, and then I get in the car to keep my skills up. I signed to the songs, and my daughter looked at me like, "Don't do that." I'm like, she's like, "That looks weird."
I tried out
I don't
in
care.
Florida. This past year in January, I went to Florida, went to Jacksonville, and if God forbid I don't make it again, in November is the next audition again in Orlando. Because I went to Orlando 2 years ago. But I lived in California, and one of the auditions was in New York City. So all these connections with these other callers,
Wow,
it's kind of ironic.
Same. No, I'm sorry. When I looked at your chart, I'm like, it looks very similar to the one the lady who had the inheritance thing, because she also had Sagittarius Capricorn in the 8th, and you have a Taurus rising at 23 degrees, and there's Leo, all the Leos in your house of home and family, which is the same as the last caller. So it's the same, or maybe it was the caller with the inheritance. There was all the same stuff in her chart too, with all the planets transiting her 4th house going into the 5th. So I mean, your chart is one of those charts I could give you a reading for an hour, because there's so much going on. You have Neptune on your Jupiter. It was retrograde, so it's coming back up to your Jupiter. In other words, it already transited your Jupiter again. It's like dreams coming true. And then going retrograde means there's something that you're living from the past that you have to kind of go back over, and it's a life lesson that you're having to deal with. And then once Neptune goes direct, it'll go back for the final pass over your Jupiter, and then it will give you the benefit that you've been working towards, okay? So there may be something that changes in a way that you didn't expect it to go. And mark the date January 13th down, because that's the date Neptune is exactly on your Jupiter direct. And it also will have, I was going to say it just goes into your cusp, or into your house of organizations, but it actually is there. And Neptune is very slow. It's 5 degrees in, and it's that house anytime again. So, until it goes on the other side. Anyway, Neptune's on your Jupiter January 13th. That's big timeline right then. Next year's going to be pretty big for you, I think. Also having Saturn going into Capricorn, and it will get to the house of education. Also, and again, for you, it's in the house of joint finances. It's in travel associated with other people or connection. Are you married?
No, divorced.
Okay. Well, what it's doing is saying, I think you need to move. If you're looking to meet someone, definitely a move is a potential. And again, like within a month, Mars will be going into Virgo, which is also the cusp of transition for you, because Mars, when it goes into Virgo, will hit Uranus, and then right after it, Pluto. And you've got Uranus at the last degrees of home and family, and Pluto at the first degrees of creativity, romance, and children. So, and it's also acting if you're an actor. So two signs are acting. One is Leo, and one is Scorpio. And I tell you, or not Scorpio. See, that was a Freudian slip. Pisces. Pisces rules film and also creative arts, and Leo rules that as well. But Scorpio is very dramatic, and so that's why I said that, because Scorpio can be really dramatic too. And Saturn's in that house for you. So this is about finding other people to help you.
When you said next year is going to be good, beginning of the year? When you said next year is going to be good for me, like beginning of the year or the latter of the year?
I think that things are going to come to manifest. Saturn and Capricorn in the 8th house can be difficult, but when Saturn goes into 8 degrees, which will be the beginning of the year, it'll be March of next year. Saturn goes into the Sagittarius house, which is the 9th house. And then that's going to be more freedom around travel, and I think it may be difficult until March. From December through March, those 3 months might be a little difficult. Saturn changes signs into Capricorn in your house of death and rebirth. So there's something, whether it's physical death of something or someone, or just an ideology you have, like a stubbornness that you're shifting. That's going to be difficult just because Capricorn makes you get real about something. But when it moves into your house that is the natural Sagittarius house, that's going to be a little bit more buoyed for you. It'll bring you up a little more, because then I think you'll understand that you have to move somewhere, and you'll have something that makes you much more positive and optimistic coming in at that time. So, Earth energy can be more difficult because it's around money and money issues and the material world. So it makes us get real about our finances. It makes us get real about how we're earning it or where it's coming from. And so that's going to be kind of the story for you as you have planets in those first 8 degrees of Earth signs. You've got Uranus at 4 Virgo, and then you have Pluto at 11, but Pluto at 11 is in the fire house, as is everything past 8 degrees for Capricorn in a fire house. So I think that what happens is you're going to get really emotional about things. And it looks like there's some transitions around home life, family life, and maybe your mom. So I don't know specifically what's going on with that, but I can tell you that there's more home energy for those 3 months until Saturn goes into your fire house, the 9th house. Okay.
Well, I have a biological mother and an adopted mother, so I have kind of like two.
Oh yeah.
and my adopted mother is a psychic as well, and so I've got some of her gifts.
Awesome.
Not a lot, but I have some of them.
No.
But
so just looking for something. So the Neptune on Jupiter is really asking you to expand some of those abilities. I can tell you those abilities also are highly connected to claircognizance. Are you familiar with claircognizance?
Things, and I can feel people's energy. So
okay. I just know it. I don't know how I know it, but I just know it. It's like by osmosis, information comes to you, and you're just so keyed in. That's like a talent. That's like your superpower, honestly.
I was watching the show last year of all like The Voice, and I named every single winner before they announced it. So,
oh my goodness,
I just see things.
Yeah,
I scare myself sometimes.
No, it's awesome. No, and you know what? We all have this power and this ability, but a lot of cases when it's happening, what you can do is when you recognize it and acknowledge it. Then it expands. Yeah. It's the law of attraction. The more you're aware of it, the more you acknowledge it, the more you get of it. And your chart, Saturn in Aquarius, is knowing this and understanding electronic. That's because it's an electrical energy, and you have Mercury right next to it. I mean, you're probably AD, and I only use that as a way for the masses to understand this energy. As far as I'm concerned, as an astrologer, Mercury in Aquarius is ADD. That's why we have that energy. It's like our minds go so fast. We're always trying to keep ahead of what our thoughts are. And having Saturn there, though, means that you may have more focus. People who have this energy, like if you had Uranus, Mercury, you'd be off. You'd probably attract lightning. It's so much electrical energy. But it grounds you. Aquarius can really ground you.
I can manifest my own energy.
Exactly. Wow, that's so cool.
Like
I'll
you have a lot of
stuff.
Oh yeah, like if I'll ask the universe if this journey is going to continue, and literally a car will pass me with California license plates, or one from New York City where I went to. So, and I'm very aware of those signs.
Mm-hmm. Well, stay aware of them. You've got Jupiter in the house of work, so you're going to have a year of Jupiter really. First off, it's helping you, but it's also about getting your needs met and knowing your personal value. And Jupiter is coming up on your moon, so again, that's mom issue. There's something around mom coming up for you, and then Jupiter goes into Scorpio, and it'll join up with Neptune, and so Jupiter on Neptune is true around the work, and it is in Scorpio, which is very mediumistic and psychic. So, anyway, that's what's going on.
Well, thank you.
I would give you further reading. I mean, your chart has so much, but the show's over, and I have to wrap up.
That's okay. Well, I'll send you a link to my YouTube video so you can watch my sign language stuff. How about that?
Oh my gosh! Yes, please. Yes, please. And
maybe
check out my YouTube channel too. It's under Artful Shelley, I think is the. If you type in Artful Shelley on YouTube, you'll get my YouTube channel. Okay.
A-R-T?
ArtFulShelley.
Okay. I'll go back to the podcast and listen to it. So awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Andrea. Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Let me know how it goes. Okay.
I will.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
And that's the show. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.